welcome back to Shaving with Fuzzy. I'm Fuzzy. Hi, y'all. On Monday, and he did say Monday afternoon, evening. It's somewhere between 7 and 8. Probably closer to 8 by now, although I haven't looked at the clock in the last few minutes. Got up and took the dogs out for a walk and grabbed a quick shower because, yep, we got work tonight. It's just starting into my long week of nights. Should be through with all that day shift stuff, unless it's extra shifts, for another week. So, yeah, days and swings. I've been doing way too many of those. Way too many. So anyway, it's Monday, so that makes it Matic Monday. We're going to partaketh in Matic Monday with the old guiding eye. Now, last time I used this, I put a injector blade in it. Today, it's just got a regular treat single edge blade in it. I got my favorite smog brush here, my 1305. And something I hadn't used in a little while is some vintage Colgate soap. So I've got vintage Colgate, I've got vintage Williams, and I got vintage Burma Shave. Which, yeah, I guess the Burma Shave is vintage because of the age. But the original Burma Shave, the real Burma Shave, was a brushless cream. And then it stopped that, and the name and all was sold, and then they started making it into a soap cake. So, you know, yeah, it's vintage because it's old, but it's not. I get it, I really do, and that's where the nostalgia police get you. They talk about your being nostalgic about something that wasn't even the original product, and yada 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 yada, and they're true to an extent. And that, you know, a lot of nostalgic stuff, we remember the good stuff, don't remember the bad stuff. You know, yeah, it was great. We didn't have any taxes. We didn't have this. We didn't have that. We didn't have the other. But we were all dying of diseases in the caves. So it was really a better time. But anyway, there you go. I'm not too worried about all that stuff. But anyway, so a little vintage Colgate soap. Now, these vintage Colgate cakes of soap can look pretty rough today. This is going to be the cup soap that I have in here. I have the barbershop soap is in the scuttle, and that was the older. And then the newer stuff is the mug. What did I have the mug in? Anyway, I had one of each going at one time. I believe this is the cup, which would put it between. They started making the barbershop Colgate. It had barbershop on it. It was, you know, in the Tuesday. They started making that in like 1917. So, long time after they started making Williams, 1840s. And did you know, I mention this every once in a while because I think it's pretty neat myself. Ivory soap was originally a Williams product. And they sold it to concentrate on the shave stuff. They sold the ivory soap for us. Anyway, ivory soap, the good old plain, which I like. I used some just the other day. Maybe I'm weird in more than one way. But anyway, my shower is just like out here in that I've got more than one soap bar going at a time. And I use different soaps when I shower. You know, usually a different soap every night, sometimes not. But anyway, I have 2 or 3 bars of soap going at the same time. And, you know, I'll have a Coast and a Ivory and a Safeguard or Palmolive. I get Palmolive soap. It's basic. And I realize, that's really detergent. It's not really soap, and it doesn't have this, and doesn't have this, and doesn't do this, and doesn't do that. And I get it. Been using it all my life, and luckily my skin hadn't fallen off yet. So, there you go. So someone told me the other day I was making a lather that it needed more hydration, and it should be this, and it should be that, and it should be the other. Thank you for the tips. Appreciate you. Appreciate you watching. But my lather is just like I like it. Don't need no buttercream. Don't need no piles of lather. Dense and slick. And it works really well. And that's, I think, more what matters than actually appearance sometimes. All right. Well, this is a little over a day's growth, so it's nothing spectacular. I did work a day shift yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday, yeah. So I was off Saturday. It's supposed to be my weekend off. But I was off Saturday after working double on Thursday and Friday. And then I I worked Sunday morning. It's just Sunday evening, 7 to 7. 0700, 1900 for folks that run on that time. But Saturday night, lost an hour. But that was okay. I'd gone to bed early. So we made it through the day. I guess that's what counts. Anyway, I had shaved early on Sunday morning, getting ready for work. It wasn't a bad day. I worked inside, worked in the camera room, the surveillance room. Something I enjoy after doing almost 10 years in casino surveillance. Alright. Oh, also, someone mentioned the other day that they had read where someone uses alcohol, and after they shave with the carbon steel blades, they swish them around in alcohol, and that works fine. To me, it's an extra step that's really not needed. I just dry the damn things off, rinse them, dry them off, go about my business. But dipping them in alcohol certainly helps, certainly works. And I was mentioning I actually had a little ceramic jar for that, and I was able to dig it up. It's called a Razor Bright, and this one's dirty because I didn't wipe it off. I just brought it in. It's been sitting up on the shelf. But Razor Bright bath, and it's a little ceramic, nice thing, and it's got a hole in the top, so you can put your razor in with the handle sticking up, and you can put the top over it with your alcohol in there or whatever you want to disinfect your razor with, and it'll take care of your razor for you. Now that's always been my assumption as to what it was used for. If somebody knows something I don't know, feel free to jump in. But good way to sanitize a safety razor. Like I said, you just put it in and the handle sticks up through. I don't know how long you want to leave it in any kind of a cleaning solution. But there you go. If you needed it to sit and, Dawn dishwashing detergent or whatever and loosen crud up, there's actually something made for that. Just another little gadget. So I went today and I had to go adjust on my vehicle insurance a little bit. So I had to actually go into the office. And there's a lady of a certain age working there that I've been doing business with for the last, she's been there the last 8 years anyway. Maybe longer than that. I've been over here 10 years now. But anyway, let's say 8 years. And we were talking, and she knew me when I worked in the plant. She's known me since I worked in the plant. She asked me how I was doing. I said, fine. She asked me, is I still in the plants? I said, no. And then she asked me, I was still doing the long hours? And I said, yeah. And I was talking about how we can't get people, and you set up interviews and people don't show up. We're going to find out they're having the same problems in that industry. People set up interviews and then they don't show up. And a lot of times they show up, and when you call them back to tell them, hey, background stuff is cleared or whatever needed to be done, and then they say, oh, I changed my mind. Well, I wonder. I don't know the system, the EBT system, and the unemployment or welfare or whatever system. But I've been told that what they're doing is gaming the system by, they're getting interviews and then they're saying they didn't get the job, but they're showing that they're getting the interviews. Now, I don't know that. Maybe someone out there knows more than me, but it was interesting to see that other industries, and that's not the first person I've talked to that tells me that, you go and you get interviews. So there's a lot of people, I say a lot, there's people supposedly looking for jobs, but when you give them a job, they decide they don't want it. We had 5 people scheduled for interviews one day. None of them showed up. The next day we had 2 people scheduled for interviews. And this is just 1 week, a couple of weeks ago. Had 2 people scheduled for interview. Only one of them showed up. and he was an hour late. Didn't call to say he was going to be late, just showed up an hour late for an interview at a job. I don't know. Don't know what to tell you. I'm a big proponent of Mike Rowe, what he has to say about things. But it's just amazing these days. If you don't know Mike Rowe, you might look him up. He did a TV show called Dirty Jobs. And he advocates for more vocational training. There's a lot of, jobs of that type, mechanic jobs and equipment operator jobs, welding, electrical. There's a lot of those type of jobs open, trades that you actually have to work at. And that's what a lot of, especially younger people these days, don't have any interest in, is actually working. They think they can go to college and spend a bunch of money. And of course now the lovely brain dead in Washington is canceling student debt. But anyway, I think they can go and do that, and then just, the money just starts piling in. They don't actually have to work for a living other than pushing buttons on a keyboard or something. Mike Rowe advocates for, let's go back to work. But anyway. Alright, finish up our little cleanup pass there, which is, as we all know, usually not needed. It's just an excuse for another round of shaving. I do it with witch hazel that I keep in my little handy dandy light bulb bottle there. If you haven't tried the witch hazel cleanup pass, yeah, you might like it, you might not. Please don't whine about what witch hazel smells like. Now, I prefer the actual regular witch hazel preparation, which is like 14% alcohol. You can get to 100% witch hazel that's scented and all this stuff, and not my thing. I prefer just the regular old basic witch hazel. Got some alcohol in it, and it's not expensive. And it does have a odor to it, but you're just splashing it on, and it's not going to last. You're not going to smell that odor all day. I used to make fun of people that would just go absolutely ballistic over the scent of the witch hazel. I don't get it. I don't get it. So I got a couple of videos I got to catch up on. Hopefully tonight I can do it. Mikey shaves. Old Michael over here, not too far from me. We get together every once in a while, and I saw he had a video out the other day. I'm gonna go check out. So it's I saw that my Vermont buddy got him another Jim Jr. bar. That's a nice one. What's a Jim Jr. bar, you say? Let me help you out. That right there is a Jim Jr. bar. It got the little bar up top there. And this is just a plain Jane, about a 1910 model. Apparently they started building those in like 1907. So I've got to go back and brush up some on it. But mine's always been dated to about 1910. That's the lather catcher that got me into it. Hey, Stetson. I haven't used Stetson in a while. This is actually Stetson. They call it Cooling Moisture. Wally World, of all places. Yeah, you can't completely get a... Ooh, I got a good Wally World story, though. But anyway, my mom used to love the smell of Stetson. I used to wear it some for her. And hopefully I'm not trapped up in a little room with anybody tonight. If I am, hopefully they like Stetson. But it'll dry down pretty quick. I'll have a cigar on the way into work. And I think the combination of a good cigar and a good aftershave is a good thing. Anyway, local Walmart. Everybody knows me knows I am not the world's biggest fan of Walmart. I try to avoid them. So anyway, the news reported that they had a juvenile that started a fire in one of the local Walmarts. We have several here in town. One of the big super Walmarts did $9 billion worth of damage. They later reported that the juvenile in question, a male, was under 10 years old. I heard the other day when I went to the local hardware store, one of the people in the hardware store was saying they had talked to one of the local law enforcement people, and they said it was a 7-year-old that had set a fire in a Walmart in the craft and art section. Don't know any particulars, don't know what they were doing. $9 million in damage. That's over $1 million for every year that kid's been alive. Boy, that's something. I don't even know if they got the place back open. It's going to take, because the sprinklers came on. So they had a lot of merchandise that had to be got rid of, and a lot of smoke damage and everything. Everything had to be cleaned and all. And 7-year-old. That's the Dennis the Menace knocking it out of the park, huh? All right, well, that's me tonight. Stinking Mo Better with some Stetson. Vintage Colgate shave there with my favorite smog brush, the 1305. If you don't have a 1305 smog, you need one. Speaking of brushes, my Canadian buddy told me that he's going to make me another handle. I got to get him the size because I found out I can get Frank shaves. I don't know what's up with Frank shave. That's where I got my original flat top. And I can't get one through there. But the golden nib looks like they have one. So I got to get the measurements on it. Maybe I can get me a new handle and con him out of a new handle up there. Hey, my Canadian buddy up there. And we'll have a flat top going because I like that brush. But I didn't set it deep enough so it's really floppy, the one I have. But anyway, all right, well, we're going to finish getting ready for work. Hope y'all have a good night, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Go to work. If you're not working, don't just sit around. Go do something. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, happy shades to you.